You need to hear this, especially if you have an anxious attachment style. You need to hear what I'm going to tell you in this video, so stick around. In another video, we discussed how the dismissive avoidant self-sabotages. In this video, we're going to talk about how the anxious preoccupied attachment style self-sabotages. The anxious preoccupied is one of the four main attachment styles. It's an insecure attachment style, as you can see, and that's the one we're going to be covering today. So first, we got clinginess and overdependence. So anxiously attached people have a constant need for reassurance. So they may do things like call and text too frequently. They demand too much attention. They may demand more from their partner than what their partner is able to provide emotionally. Now, this stems from a need of a close connection. And that can be healthy. You need to have a close connection in a relationship. But for an anxious attachment style, that need becomes excessive. And it can have the opposite effect of what it's intended for. So that excessive need for close connection is often going to drive their partner further away. And you see how this is self-sabotaging. We go into our next behavior, fear of abandonment. So this fear of abandonment, this fear of rejection, first of all, I get it. Okay, I struggled with an anxious attachment style myself for several years, and even today I'm still healing from it. It's an everyday effort. But this is self-sabotaging behavior because the littlest things are going to appear to you as signs of abandonment. You're kind of going to be looking for signs of abandonment. And it's going to cause you to panic. It's going to cause you to overthink. And that behavior, that very mindset, being in that state of fear of abandonment, of rejection, this is the very thing that's actually going to cause that abandonment to happen. So be careful with it. If your partner tells you that they just need a night for themselves, then don't take that as a sign of, oh, they're getting ready to abandon me. They're getting ready to leave me. No, they just need a night for themselves. Right? Don't let that trigger your fear of abandonment, and don't let that put you into panic mode. And yes, avoidants have fear of abandonment too. They just handle it in a very different way. That's for another video. And I think we all have this fear to some degree. Even people with a secure attachment style have this fear of abandonment, but they know how to manage it. They keep that fear in check. They don't let it control their thoughts. They don't let it overtake their thinking. They don't let it control their life and infect their relationship. So keep that fear in check. This brings us into our next self-sabotaging behavior for the anxious attachment style. That is overthinking. So if you have an anxious attachment style, you know what I'm talking about. Overthinking worst case scenarios in your relationship. So overthinking problems that usually don't even exist. So this is where it really becomes self-sabotaging, because when you start overthinking those problems, you start creating those problems yourself. They start to manifest. They'll start showing in your behavior, and before you know it, you've created those problems that you were afraid of because you were overthinking them. And that overthinking spilled over into your behavior, into your actions, into your words, and you've created those problems. So let's watch the overthinking. Let's be careful with that. Keep that in check. We go into our next self-sabotaging behavior, idealization and disappointment. Okay, so someone with an anxious attachment style tends to, they lack emotional independence, okay? They struggle with that, having their own sense of independence. And they get involved with someone, they get involved with a partner, and they may idealize them and kind of put them on a pedestal. Now, you should cherish and appreciate your partner. That is very important. But what you don't want to do is idealize them, put them on a pedestal, right? Because you're going to put unrealistic and unhealthy expectations on them. Even if you don't mean to, that's what's going on when you idealize them, when you become too dependent on them. Now, what's going to happen if you do that is your partner is inevitably going to fall short of those expectations, because not only are they unhealthy and unrealistic expectations, but your partner doesn't even know about them. but your partner doesn't even know. How can they know about them? They can't mind read, and you can't expect your partner to mind read. And when they do fall short of those unrealistic and unhealthy expectations, it's going to create disappointment. It's going to create some resentment in the relationship. Now, we all have needs in a relationship. We all have needs. That's fine. That's normal. Right? That's okay. As long as those needs are healthy and reasonable, and very important, as long as those needs are communicated. So there's a healthy way to communicate your needs in a relationship. There's a healthy way to do that. But that is different from this whole idealization and unrealistic expectations, putting that on your partner. It's only going to lead to disappointment and resentment. So let's watch that one. And then we go into our last self-sabotaging behavior, and I think this is the worst one. I say this about all insecure attachment styles. I think this is the worst one, and that is a lack of self-awareness. This is the worst one across all insecure attachment styles. This is the most self-sabotaging, because if you don't know that you have a problem, if you're unaware of your core wounds, your abandonment wounds, your insecurities, if you can't look inward at those parts of yourself and explore those parts of yourself, then you're never going to be able to heal. You're never going to be able to keep those tendencies in check. So if you have an anxious attachment style or any insecure attachment style, the first step towards healing is self-awareness. It's going to make all the difference. You need to have self-awareness. You need to be willing to look inward at those core wounds, at those insecurities. So important. So if you know someone who you think might have an anxious attachment style, share this video with them, because they might not be aware of it. And I'm telling you, self-awareness makes all the difference. It's going to help you keep those tendencies in check, and it's going to bring you on the path towards healing, towards a secure attachment style, and that's what we all want. So I hope I brought some good into your life today. If so, please like and subscribe, and please share your thoughts and your stories, experiences in the comments section. I love reading and responding to them. It's been great reading everybody's experiences. And if you think this video might help somebody, please share it with them. Now, if you'd like to learn more about how the dismissive avoidant self-sabotages their self-sabotaging behaviors, I talk more about that in this video right here, so give that a look. Until next time, you take care, and I'll see you in the next.